interviews, and friendly conversation from two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy. Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports, and welcome to a Wednesday, the 18th day of February for 2026. Mike Will and Tyson Havronic ready to start your day the right way with all of your news, weather, and sports that you need to get out the door here this morning. Going to be talking a lot about the Nebraska men's basketball game last night. Huskers losing to Iowa in Iowa City, 57-52. Not a good night for Nebraska. We're going to talk about some of the antics during the bowl game here today, so hang around for that. Fred Hoiberg will join us briefly. He'll talk about the bowl game later on. The Nebraska women's basketball team, they're going to try to break a 5-game losing streak. They're going to play at Oregon on Thursday. Hastings College basketball teams will begin their final week of the regular season tonight when they play host to Doane at Lynn Farrell Arena. A doubleheader you'll be able to hear tonight on Extreme Sports. The women's game will go at 6, with the men to follow at 7:45 on the air with a pregame show at about 5:45 this afternoon. Hastings College softball team was in action last night or yesterday as they continue their tour of the KCAC. They had a doubleheader against Sterling College yesterday. We'll tell you how they did. In the first ever collegiate men's volleyball match in Nebraska, Hastings College beat Central Christian last night in 3 games at Lynn Farrell Arena. Sub-district basketball got started last night for Hastings St. Cecilia, and the Hawkettes pounding Ravenna in the semifinals, winning by a score of 54-15. So St. Cecilia will move on. They'll take on Ord in the sub-district finals on Thursday. We've got all the other scores from around the area. So a lot of basketball talk with us here today. And also we'll hear from Greg Barrett following the victory last night by Hastings St. Cecilia. So all that and more is coming up for us today as we get up and get going here for a Wednesday as we welcome in Tyson Havronic from the Western Studios. Good morning, my man.
Yeah, good morning. Mentioned first ever volleyball match for Hastings College, and the Broncos pick up a victory. So, history book, history making. First men's volleyball matchup in the entire state. And next to that, with a 3-set sweep, is going to be Hastings College. And so what a fun moment to witness history. And a lot of people took the opportunity to do just that. Place was absolutely packed. There was free admission yesterday. And, Marcus and I were talking about that's the busiest we've seen. That's the most traffic we've seen in the Lynn Farrell Arena, really going back to the 2020 post or pre-COVID women's basketball team when they took on Concordia in a top 5 matchup. So the crowd responded really well, and it was a fun atmosphere, and overall just a great night to be a Bronco.
You called the game last night for us here on Extreme Sports. How was it? Men's volleyball, something new for everyone. How was it?
Really fast. I had trouble keeping track at times. You're getting to know a brand new group of guys that you've never seen before. And never really had an opportunity to see before. They've played their first 10 games on the road, so it wasn't like we had an opportunity to kind of get familiar with the roster at all, and so we were learning new names and new faces, and on top of that, the action's going 75 miles an hour, and there's only like 2 rallies that I think lasted longer than 15 seconds. The ball gets over and it goes back down, and it goes back down oftentimes with authority. I think from the spectator perspective, you have to keep your eye on the court at all times. Otherwise, you'll get hit with a volleyball that goes flying into the stands off a deflection. I mean, these things were going. They were humming, and I'm not surprised that they have to have a ball inflator on each side of the court after some of these hits and some of these smashes. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's volleyball in a blender. it's very fast paced and quick moving.
All right, so that's
breaking news alert on your phone.
Yeah, breaking news on my phone.
What do you got for me?
Something about the 49ers hosting a game in Mexico City. So looks like the 49ers are going to be the team that plays in Mexico City this year.
They're another one of those teams that play internationally a lot.
So they're going to stick them in Mexico City.
They could use a break
this year. So that was the breaking news that you heard. Anyway, yeah, thanks for your comments on Hastings College men's volleyball. Again, we'll have various matches for the Hastings College men throughout the next couple of weeks here on Extreme Sports. We had volleyball. We had basketball. Girls Subdistrict basketball last night here on Extreme Sports. We were at the C27 Subdistrict tournament at the Chapman Gym. Brought you both games last night. Hastings St. Cecilia, they beat Ravenna in the first game by a score of 54-15. St. Cecilia outscored Ravenna 29-3 in the second half to post that win last night. Emery Vargas had 14 points for the Hawkettes. St. Cecilia will play in the Subdistrict Finals on Thursday against Ord. The Chanticleers, they beat Giltner Harvard last night by a score of 58-29. So it'll be St. Cecilia and Ord tomorrow night at the Chapman Gym, 6 o'clock starting time. We'll have the game here on Extreme Sports, beginning with a pregame at 5:45 tomorrow afternoon. We'll check some of the other scores on. We got a chance here right quick. In the C17 Subdistrict tournament at Lincoln Christian last night. Lincoln Christian, the number one seed and maybe the number one seed in the state in Class C1. They demolished Lincoln Lutheran last night by a score of 73-25. They will play Raymond Central in the Subdistrict Finals on Thursday. Raymond Central beat Kearney Catholic 64-41. C18 last night at Milford. It was Milford beating David City by a score of 72-40. They will play Central City on Thursday. Central City beat Broken Bow by a score of 37-22. In the C19 Subdistrict tournament last night for the Gals, Malcolm beat Fillmore Central 59-33, and it was Holdridge over Minden last night, 37-16. So Malcolm will play Holdridge on Thursday. C28 at Alma last night. Alma beat North Platte St. Pat's 56-16. And Hershey beat Donovan Trumbull last night 74-54. So Alma will play Hershey in the finals on Thursday. Down it says Sandy Creek last night. Maxwell upset the top-seeded Sandy Creek Cougars 43-41. Maxwell, the fourth-seeded team, knocking off the top-seeded Cougars last night, 43-41. So Maxwell will move on. They'll play Centura in the Subdistrict Finals on Thursday. Centura blew out St. Paul last night, 69-41. D1-2 at Sutton last night. Sutton winners over Dessler, 59-13. And it was Tri-County over Exeter Milligan Friend, 55-32. Sutton will play Tri-County on Thursday. D1-8 at Shelton last night. Shelton knocks off Blue Hill, 59-21. They'll face Kennesaw in the Subdistrict Finals. Kennesaw winners over Grand Island Lutheran last night, 46-36. And D2-2 at Red Cloud. Red Cloud beat Bruning Davenport Shickley 48-21, and it was McCool Junction upsetting the second seed Silver Lake basketball team last night. 47-45 was the final in that game. So Red Cloud will play McCool Junction on Thursday in the Subdistrict Finals. So that kind of brings you up to date on all the tournament action from last night. We did have one regular season game last night. Omaha Duchesne beat the Hastings High girls by the score of 64-47. The Tigers are now 2-19 on the season. So that brings you up to date kind of on high school basketball, girls sub-district tournaments taking the spotlight this week. And again, we'll have more action for you tomorrow night for the high school teams as St. Cecilia will play in the sub-district finals against Ord. 6 o'clock starting time, 5:45 for the pregame here on Extreme Sports. Waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports for this Wednesday. If you'd like to chime in with us, you can. Love to hear from you. 402-834-1330. 402-834-1330. That's the Hamilton Telecommunications fan line. If you'd like to chime in on our social media sites, we're monitoring those comments as well as we work our way through the hour. Let's talk Nebraska basketball. The Huskers last night losing to Iowa 57-52 over in Iowa City. Huskers held to a season low in points with 52. They were also limited to just 5 3-pointers in the game, tying for their fewest in a game this season. Bryce Sanford, the former Iowa player, finished with a team-high 13 points for the Huskers. Nebraska was also held to a season-low 44 shots in the game and tied its season low with 18 field goals. Nebraska shot 41% from the field. They were 5 of 24 from long range, and Iowa out-rebounded the Huskers 12-2 on the offensive glass. That was a big stat in the ballgame. The loss was Nebraska's first to an unranked team this season. They are now 22-4, 11-4 in the conference. They'll play host to Penn State on Saturday. Tip-off of the game will be at 1 on BTN. But now Nebraska is 2-4 in their last 6 games. They lose last night to Iowa. Both you and I had ball games last night, so I caught the final 10 minutes of the game when I got home last night. And
I got second half, so
you got the second half in?
I got the whole second half in, yeah.
So you had a little bit more.
I mean, I got to watch more bricks that we threw up. You know?
Yeah, we did not play well last night.
No, I mean, and say what you want. I know that we're gonna probably hear a comment or two on officiating. I know this is coming. I scrolled Facebook last night and just kind of shook my head. They stormed the court. Yeah, it's been a rough season over at Iowa, and they're looking for anything to get excited about. And
those are two things I want to bring up.
Sure.
Because, first of all, the officiating. Usually, I don't get on the refs. But in the 10 minutes that I watched at the tail end of the ball game, I saw 3 or 4 calls that I just shook my head and said, what? Now, I've seen a lot of basketball over my time.
Sure.
And in the last 10 minutes of the game, I just shook my head on some of the calls that I saw.
This is trash. There was some straight trash calls.
Out of bounds plays that were clearly Nebraska's ball right in front of the official. I can remember one that Nebraska finally challenged because it was so obvious. So they showed the replay 15 times, and not once did I say that should be Iowa's ball. It was clearly off of the Iowa player's leg out of bounds. That's the play late in the game where that Iowa guy dove into the first couple of rows of the courtside seats.
Oh, yeah.
And that was clearly off of the Iowa player's leg, and they gave Iowa the ball.
Originally.
How could you miss that? Yeah, originally they gave Iowa the ball until we challenged it, and obviously it was Nebraska's ball. How could the official standing right there miss that call?
Because he wasn't watching the play.
What the hell was he watching?
If you watch the replay, like he's looking into the crowd as that out of bounds play is happening. Like,
why is he looking? No, why is he looking into the crowd?
Mike, I don't know, but that's what you saw on the replay. That's why he missed the call. The officiating was garbage down the stretch. But here's the thing, man, and I will put this in bold. This might go on my tombstone because I preach this too often, man. When we have a night like we had last night, and you go 5 for frickin' 30 for 3-point territory, right?
5 of 24.
It was bad. 5 of 30, 24, whatever, from three-point territory, and you put the game at that point because of the poor shooting effort, poor rebounding effort, didn't really take care of the ball when we had it, ran into traps into the corner a lot. When you put the game into the margins that it was because of poor execution, at that point you put the game into the ref's hands. If you put the game in the ref's hands because you can't play well yourself, you will lose 100% of your games. All 100. And then everybody is going to have an excuse and going to have a scapegoat, and they're going to go after the officiating. I mean, was it poor? Yes, it was. Was it why we lost the game? No.
No, probably
because
not.
we gave it to the ref's hands to make that decision for us.
I just told you the reasons why we lost.
Yeah, we did not shoot well. We did
Season
not
low.
well.
Season low, 52 points. 5 3-pointers tying for the fewest in the game. Season low, 44 shots in the game. Season low, 18 field goals. Shot 41% from the field, 5 of 24 from long range. Out-rebounded offensively on the offensive end, 12-2. That's what I saw in the final 10 minutes of the game. I thought, wow, we're getting blasted on the offensive glass. How many second and third chances did the Iowa have in the last 10 minutes of the game? After they missed shots, they were right there for the offensive board, and they put her back in. Where in the hell was our defense?
Well, Rink can't do it by himself, man. That's just it. He's all alone there, and he's getting mauled, and he's getting boxed out, and they're putting 2 or 3 bodies on him, and Purdue did the same thing.
Yeah, now does opposing teams have the recipe to beat Nebraska? We're 2-4 in our last 6 games. I think the recipe is out. They're being physical with Nebraska, especially inside, and we got to find a way to combat the physicality of opposing teams. And you're going to hear the coach talk about it here in just a few minutes when we get some comments from him last night. His press conference last night following the ball game was also the shortest of the season. Yeah, it was 2 minutes and he was done. Never this year can I remember a conference after the ball game that lasted under 5 minutes. It's usually
off, man.
It's usually 6, 7, 8 minutes. It was 2 minutes last night. He was pissed.
Should be. I mean, that was it's something about going to that arena. It's something about going to Iowa. I mean, at this point, it's got to be mental because that was the worst we've ever played. The offense, and I don't know how the start looked. I didn't get to watch the first half, but my guess is they, based on the fact that we had, I think, 21 or 27 points at halftime, I can't remember, that we were kind of stuck in the mud a little bit. That we were playing. Listen, Iowa is not a good basketball team. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I don't care about this guy they got from frickin' Drake or wherever. They're not a good basketball program, and that's an embarrassing loss. That's a team you need to bury. That's a team you need to beat. And I felt like we were playing jabs with them a little bit early on, like it was a title fight, a heavyweight title fight, and you're going out and you're expecting 12 rounds, so you're just kind of throwing some jabs with the guy because he's your equal. No, that's a team you can throw haymakers at right away and bury and put in the dust. I'm disappointed, obviously, and I think Hoiberg's pissed about it, but we have to get over that mentality that I was this quote unquote rival for us. I'm sick and tired of them being a rival and playing to their level whenever we play the black and gold. It needs to stop. Again, if you want to talk about a rival school in the Big Ten, I don't care if it's football, basketball, volleyball, what have you. Like, let's go after the Blue Bloods. Let's go after the big dogs. Iowa storms the court, and rightfully so.
No, that's my next thought.
Why?
Hold on. I've got Ryan Martin has chimed in talking about the officiating and the foul that Reich Mast had late in the game on his screen. I agree. I was going to get to that point next because that call, to go along with the other one I just mentioned, was probably the worst call I've ever seen in college basketball. Mast setting his screen out beyond the three-point line. He didn't even touch the guy. He had his back to the guy that they whistled. They call him for an illegal screen. Worst call I have ever seen in college basketball. And it's happened last night late in the game, the 10 minutes that I got to watch at the end of the game. That's one of those calls, again, that I shook my head and said, are you effing kidding me? That cannot be a foul. It's time for these officials to account for themselves. They were horrible last night. I don't know if they were on the take or what, but sure in hell looked like it. They need to investigate. All right, now to the storming of the court. That's another thing that pissed me off. How does a team that is 19-7 storm the court because they beat a ninth-ranked team that they call their rivals? You are 19-7 on the season, and you storm the court because you just beat the ninth-ranked team in the nation.
They're doing it for the exact reasons that you're pissed off this morning, Mike. They're doing it because it gets under your skin. They're doing it because they want to rub it in. They want to be loud and vocal and annoying. They want to have the headlines in Iowa about basketball, even if those headlines are stupid Iowa fans storm court after victory over Nebraska. They're doing it to rub it in and get under your skin, and it's worked.
I was maybe more pissed off last night until I got up this morning and was doing my show prep here. I understand Texas Tech and Arizona State played last night. Arizona State beat 13th ranked Texas Tech 72-67. Guess what happened?
I guess they probably stormed the court.
They stormed the damn court. First-ranked team that they have beaten since 2025. So the Arizona State fans, they stormed the court last night as they beat 13th-ranked Texas Tech 72-67.
I'm just reading the comments. There's dissension in the ranks. We'll get to more of these. Jim Schleicher saying Nebraska missed too many layups early in the game. The missed layup gave us 5 or 8 points. That was the difference. There's a great quote on layups, by the way. I'm going to get to that. Tons of missed shots. How can our bigs not score when you are right there? It was bad. They had a point to prove with Price. Then Ryan Martin saying, I disagree with me, Tyson. Iowa should be considered a rival no matter how bad they are. They share a border and are closest to proximity in conference play. KU and K-State will always be rivals. KU didn't storm the court, winning against number 1 Arizona at home because it's expected for KU. Holy crap. No one should ever storm the court because they beat Nebraska in basketball.
No. You beat the 9th-ranked team in the nation.
Whew.
You are 19-7 on the season, and your stupid, idiotic fans, you stormed the court. God. In the 10 minutes that I watched that game last night, I couldn't get to sleep. My blood pressure was blown off of the map last night. I only got to see 10 minutes of the game.
That's just I'm used to it. You know, I'm used to heartbreaking situations in the final 10 minutes for any Husker sport. So it was par for the course.
But we don't expect that this year.
Don't matter. I mean, the thing is, at home, I'll tell you what, we'll beat them by 20 at home.
I hope we do. I hope we bury him.
We'll beat them by 20 at home.
Price Sanford, he was the Iowa transfer. They hit him hard last night. They started in pregame. They had some F Price Sanford chants going on in pregame workouts, pregame warm up. No class.
Zero
class from the Iowa fans. And I got some friends that are Iowa people.
I'm an Iowa person.
I hope I don't talk to them today or see them.
Again, feelings about the rivalry aside, I don't consider Iowa my rival because I kind of don't mind Iowa. I know that's toxic to a lot of people here on the show. Did you know that Bryce Sanford's dad played ball for Hastings College? Fun fact.
I didn't know that.
Fun factoid. There was a documentary on Sanford after the game last night, and he was at a Fred Hoiberg basketball camp when Hoiberg was doing a basketball camp in Ames, and Price had a Hastings College basketball t-shirt on. He was repping. And I did some investigation, and his dad not only went to, but played ball for HC. Fun fact.
Didn't know that. Good job on digging up some fun facts. Elsewhere in college basketball last night, as long as we're dominating that in the first portion of the show, there were some upsets in the top 25 last night. Nebraska was the only team that went down. The nation's number one ranked team, Michigan, they beat 7th-ranked Purdue last night by a score of 91-80. We mentioned Arizona State. They stormed the court. They were excited. They beat a 13th-ranked team, Texas Tech, 72-67. 12th-ranked Florida, winners over South Carolina, 76-62. 15th-ranked Michigan State beat UCLA last night, 82-59. North Carolina State,
wow,
they beat 16th-ranked North Carolina. They didn't storm the court. 82-58. Rhode Island knocked off 18th-ranked St. John's, 81-76. Fans kept their butts in the seat. SMU beat 21st-ranked Louisville, 95-85. Miami of Ohio, they're still undefeated.
Frauds.
They're now 26-0. They beat Massachusetts last night, 86-77. And Ohio State defeated 24th-ranked Wisconsin, 86-69.
God, it was just a bad night to be ranked last night.
Yeah, last night was not a good night, except for Miami of Ohio. God, they're now 26-0. I don't care who you're playing.
Frauds.
You put 20 frauds.
Frauds.
I don't care who you're playing. You win 26 games in a row. I don't care if you're playing the YMCA lunch diner team.
What?
You know, the guys that get together during the lunch hour and play basketball.
Why?
There's actually a league or some teams that get together to play basketball during their noon hour.
God, what a waste of a noon hour.
So, I don't care if you won 26 games in a row in that league. It's something special.
No
so
offense.
Miami of Ohio.
I love basketball and all, but I only get one lunch break, man. I'm not going to spend it doing physical activity.
Playing basketball. All right, waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. We've already talked about a ton of stuff here in the first half hour. About the Nebraska performance last night, about storming the court. A 19-7 team storms the court for beating the 9th-ranked team in the nation. If you'd like to chime in, you can. Social media sites are on our Hamilton Telecommunications fan line. I'm sure we can get some people riled up like I am. 402-834-1330. 402-834-1330.
It's just not one of the things that gets my blood boiling, man. I get it.
I'm fired up.
It's a trigger for some. For me, I'm just like, kids be kids, man.
I'm fired up. I'm also fired up about the weather we're having right now. God, it was 77 yesterday was the high.
Yeah, but there was fire tornadoes in Kansas.
I saw that.
That's not okay.
I'm just saying, it was nice here. 77. Broke a record that we had of 74 set in 1981, I see, according to the National Weather Service statistics. And the low that we had yesterday was 44.
It wasn't low.
That broke a record for the warmest low that we've had for this date. That was set in 1972.
You know
so,
what
yeah,
wasn't
we'll take
nice,
it.
though?
It was
The
a little
dust
windy.
storm that we got in at like 4 o'clock.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was brutal. I didn't want that. But yeah, nice weather. The freaking Kansas, dude, that's wild. I was watching the video of grass fire that had started, and then the winds picked it up, and it turned it into a fire tornado. Mike, if there's a fire tornado that's ever coming close to me, like, I've seen it all at this point, and it's just time to go. Those are combinations that you should never have to witness that. That's some apocalypse style scenarios. Tornadoes.
Was there a fire and a tornado?
It was a fire tornado. It was a spinning air mast of fire.
Really?
Yeah, that replicated and duplicated all the characteristics of a tornado.
Wow.
It freaked me out, dude.
And I saw Oklahoma also had some big fires break out there. So, yeah, be careful. It's very dry all over the place. So,
it's inducted into the Hastings College Hall of Fame. We must be on Sanford's dad. Played ball at Holdridge. Played for Trades in the 80s.
Played for Trades in the 80s, 1989. He's inducted into the Hastings College Hall of Fame. Yeah, I'm part of that group. I should know that.
Fire tornadoes?
What are we talking about?
Oh, I was just reading.
All right. All right, 402-834-1330, the Hamilton Telecommunications fan line. If you'd like to leave some messages on our social media sites, a ton of people are doing that this morning. We'll get to those here in a little bit. We got Greg Barrett standing by. We've got Fred Hoiberg standing by. 7:32 right now. It's time for a news update here on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Well, head over to the state capitol where Nebraska lawmakers slowed a bill yesterday that would increase penalties for fentanyl trafficking after some senators raised concerns it could boost prison costs without clear benefits. The proposal would align fentanyl sentences with those for other hard drugs. In other hearings, the legislature also discussed a plan to offer free school breakfasts and lunches to students now receiving reduced price meals. Meanwhile, supporters testified for a bill that would require immigration officers to obtain a warrant before entering Nebraska schools, saying the change would protect students' privacy and keep campuses safe. Backers, including educators and civil rights groups, while opponents worry that it could hinder federal enforcement and create confusion. The measure now moves through the legislature for full review. It is now coming up on 7:34. We'll head over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's going on in sports?
Well, we were talking about Nebraska losing to Iowa last night, 57-52 in Iowa City. Nebraska is now 22-4 in the season, 11-4 in the conference. We'll get ready to play Penn State on Saturday at the Vault. Tip-off will be at 1 on BTN. The Nebraska women's basketball team, they'll try to break a 5-game losing streak when they play at Oregon on Thursday. Huskers are 16-10 in the season, 5-10 in the conference after Monday's 80-67 loss to Iowa. Tip-off will be at 8. Hastings College basketball teams will begin their final week of the regular season tonight when they play host to Doane at Lynn Farrell Arena. The Bronco women are 19-7 in the season, 15-5 in the conference. The men are 7-19. They are 6-12 in the conference and still battling for a spot in the conference tournament next week. The Hastings women beat the Tigers 101-78 earlier this season in Crete. The men beat Doane 64-62. Women's game tonight will be at 6, with the men to follow at 7:45. We'll have the action on Extreme Sports, beginning with a pregame show at 5:45 this afternoon. Hastings College softball team split a pair of games with Sterling yesterday. Hastings won the first game 11-1, but dropped the second game 7-6. Hastings now 5-4 in the season and will play at Kansas Wesleyan on Saturday. In the first ever collegiate men's volleyball match in Nebraska, Hastings College beat Central Christian 25-10, 25-19, 25-17 last night at Lynn Farrell Arena. Austin McElroy had 9 kills for the Broncos. Hastings is now 4-7 on the season. They'll play at Ottawa a week from Saturday on February the 28th. St. Cecilia girls outscored Ravenna 29-3 in the second half last night to post a 54-15 win in the semifinals of the C27 sub-district tournament. Emery Vargas had 14 points for the Hawkettes. St. Cecilia will play Ord in the sub-district finals on Thursday. The Chanticleers beat Giltner Harvard in the other semifinal game last night by a score of 58-29. Regular season play yesterday, Omaha Duchesne beat the Hastings High girls 64-47. The Tigers are now 2-19. That's a check in your sports headlines. 7:36 now on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
Tuesday was a record-setting day with a new high of 77 degrees. Today, though, it'll be a little cooler, but still pretty warm with a high in the low 60s. A little breezy with westerly winds gusting to about 20 miles per hour. More clouds in the afternoon. Then tonight, we'll have a low of 25. On Thursday morning, snow spreading into the area. It'll be either side of an inch. 34 is the high with falling temperatures throughout the day. 12 overnight, Thursday night to Friday. Plenty of sunshine and a high in the 30s with 30s through the weekend and lows in the teens.
As you wake up, get going this morning, we've got west winds at 9. It is cloudy. It is 39 in Hastings at Extreme Sport.
Hi guys, this is Justin Consrick with Adam Marshall Land and Auction. Just want to talk to you about how we do things. I talk to farmers every day. A lot of guys just want a simple, honest way to sell equipment. That's why I work with Adam Marshall Land and Auction. We know the equipment, we know the buyers. We run real auctions with no buyer's fees, which brings in more bidders and stronger results. From one machine to the full lineup, we handle marketing, the details, the sales start to finish. We're just real people with real auctions, real results. If you're thinking about auctioning equipment, reach out and give me a call at 308-991-5429.
I'm John Butler, funeral director and owner at Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the Advanced Funeral Planning Specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
More information at Hamilton is Business.
When your family feels protected under our roof, they are free to dream. And you can get a personalized rate based on how you drive. Customize what you pay with Drive My Way, American Family Insurance. Give Matthew a call at 308-389-9124 or stop in at 204 North Walnut Street in Grand Island.
Get ready for the ultimate trivia experience with Extreme Sports Trivia. Play from anywhere at home, on the go, or at your favorite bar or restaurant. Compete live against players from all over in real time, answering questions across categories like sports, pop culture, Marvel, and more. Want to see how you stack up? Track your progress with live leaderboards and aim for the top spot. It's free, fun, and super easy to play. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today at extremesports.com trivia and start playing now. And keep an eye out. We're coming soon to a bar or restaurant near you. Near you.
All right, Mike Will and Science Center Product. Huddle up, Extreme Sports for this Wednesday. And thanks for joining us here today. Talked a lot in the first half hour of the show about Nebraska's loss last night to the Iowa Hawkeyes, about the Iowa fans storming the court, all the other antics we suffered last night, and not including the bad play that we had on the court. So if you'd like to chime with us, still got some time to talk to you today. 402-834-1330, 402-834-1330. If you'd like to leave us a message on our social media sites, we're monitoring those comments as well. Let's find out what the coach had to say last night, shall we? After the ball game last night, Husker head coach Fred Hoiberg short in all of his answers last night, which is not like him. He was obviously disappointed with a loss last night to the Hawkeyes.
You know, obviously, first of all, give credit to Iowa. I thought they really got underneath us. Their physicality overwhelmed us. You looked at the first half, 19-6 on the glass. It's, and we're down 5 points. We were still within 2 possessions. And, listen, when they take away passes like that, somebody's got to put the ball on the deck and make a play. The few shots we did get, we unfortunately didn't knock them down. And, again, they made the necessary plays to win the game.
Bryce Stanford led the way last night for the Huskers. He scored 13 points.
That's always, that's such an emotional game for him, with the chants going on during the warm-ups and everything, and you just got to do everything you can to block it out. And, obviously he was the guy that they really keyed on out there and got up underneath him. He's an all-league player. He's having an unbelievable season for us. And, kid's got an incredible future. He's one of the greatest kids I've ever coached. He's just all about the right things, never has any distractions. He's a 4.0 student. He just does everything right. So, I'm proud of him for how he handled everything in a tough environment, in a tough game to have to come back and play. And, listen, we can't hang our heads. We can't sulk after this one. We got to find a way to regroup and bounce back. We got a big one coming up on Saturday.
And the coach says Iowa had a good game plan last night.
You give up 57 on the road, you should have a pretty good chance to win the game. But, again, give Iowa credit. They had a game plan that took us out of what we wanted to run and, forced us into some things. And, again, when we did get looks, which wasn't very often, we got to find a way to knock those down.
And Coach says that we need to adjust when teams present physical play, especially inside. We got to adjust to the physicality.
You got to find a way to get them off you, curls, that kind of thing. We did a solid job getting it in the rink a couple times on a couple switches. But, yeah, you got to listen. When you see pressure, your eyes should light up. And we just did not handle it well at all tonight.
All right, so there you go. Like I said, his conference last night was just over 2 minutes. And that was about 1:40 you just heard right there. He didn't have a lot to say.
Sweet.
Not happy. 57-52. He loses to the Iowa Hawkeyes last night. Huskers now 2-4 in their last 6 games. So is that alarming? You and I have talked about we're just waiting, or in the past, Nebraska has always had a kind of a tailspin about this time of the year. 2-4 in our last 6. Is this it?
Listen, this is a...
We got Penn State coming up Saturday.
Yeah.
That's a game we should win at home.
Should be able to take care of business. I thought in my heart of hearts that we could take care of business against Iowa on the road, even though it's a conference rival and it's a place that we have not historically played well. You throw all that aside because we're a pretty good basketball team, and I still think we're a pretty good basketball team. But you can't have everybody go cold on the same night, and we knock down those shots, and we'll find it. It's just one of those scenarios where you can't have 4 of the 5 guys going cold, and Price being the only guy that can knock down a shot because Price is going to get double teamed, and we got guys that are getting open looks right now for a reason because they're in a slump. So once we start to knock down those shots and make the defenses respect us, I think this offense can go. But it is one that is built to live and die by the three. And you talk about getting more physical and pounding the ball inside. That's not our game. That's not what we're about. We're about passing, finding the open looks, dribble, drive, kick out,
knock down threes.
But you got to knock them down.
Yeah, we were 5 of 24. Amber's already chiming in. She's getting a dig at us. She says, you guys counted this as a loss when we went through the schedule a couple of weeks ago. You had them losing 6 games, we're at 4. So Amber's getting a little jab in at the morning team here.
I didn't put a number on us.
I think I did.
I didn't put a number on us.
I think I put 6 games that we were going to lose. So, yeah, we're now at 4. I'm still sitting at 6. I think we're going to lose a game that we should win. And that might have been last night. Yeah, I thought maybe we could win that game.
Yeah.
But evidently not. Evidently a couple of weeks ago I said we're going to have 6 losses. I might be smarter than I think I am. Back when Nebraska was cruising along and everybody was talking the crap that we were talking a couple of weeks ago about getting into the Final Four. I think some people were talking about playing for the national championship.
Stop.
I said at that point I thought we would have 6 losses going into the tournament, and we're going to be damn close to that. I might be smarter. I might be smarter than I think I am.
Here's the thing, man. It's a team that is capable, because we've seen it, of being competitive with the nation's best. And it's a team that's going to be in the NCAA tournament. I believe that in my heart of hearts, that's been solidified. The resume's ready.
The basketball season is a long, long season.
We got 5 games left.
And you can't expect a team to go out.
No, you're going to have peaks and valleys.
Yeah, you can't expect a team to go out 32 games or whatever it is, 33 games, and play at the top level. It's not going to happen.
Right.
I get into a lot of conversations with coaches, even locally, that are just sit-down, friendly conversations. We talk basketball, and they talk about you can't go out and expect your team to play at the top level 33, 34 games on a season. There's going to be peaks and valleys. The big key is to find a way to win in games that we had last night.
Yep.
You know, when the ball is not going in the hole, that we're not getting the calls, that fans are chanting at your star player in the pregame warm-ups. You got to find a way to win these games, and Nebraska last night did not find a way to win the game.
Well, either A, have to find a way to play through the adversity and find a way to win gritty, not pretty, or B, and I've always said this, man, you know, the peaks and valleys of a season is dependent upon the lessons you learn from a loss. And if we take this loss and we use it as a catalyst to say, that's our floor. That's the floor. We found it. Now we're going to get back to work and get off the floor and start climbing again. It's so dependent on how fast you get back up. I think historically, when we look at Nebraska basketball in February, it has been kind of a doom and gloom scenario. There's been seasons that we've had that have had some optimism, and then we get into the grind of February and just playing the Big Ten schedule that is literally a powerhouse on your doorstep every other night, and we have let losses derail it and nosedive it. You know, we can have peaks and valleys provided we get another peak. If we just don't want to turn this baby into a nosedive and say, well, that was fun.
Yeah. Remember last year we didn't make the conference tournament because of our dive in February.
I know.
So, all right, that's a lot on Nebraska basketball. as we suffered through a loss last night to the Iowa Hawkeyes. One team that did not suffer a loss last night was the St. Cecilia girls. They opened up their postseason play last night with a win over Ravenna, 54-15. St. Cecilia head coach Greg Barrett joined me on the postgame show last night. Coach, a big win for you tonight over the Ravenna Blue Jays. What's your feelings on the ball game?
Yeah, a little bit of a sluggish start, but I thought our girls responded well. And sometimes those 2-3 zones take a little bit of time to crack. Second half, looks like maybe we wore them out a little bit. And anytime you give up single digits on the defensive end and a half, you got to be pretty happy with it.
You talked about being patient and cracking the zone defense. What's the problems? What do you see out of your team attacking the zone?
I think we were maybe settling for the first okay shot as opposed to working together and getting the ball moving and working for a great one. And I thought the second quarter was a little bit better, and I thought the third quarter we did a great job. So, it's kind of one of those things this time of the year. You don't want to wait around too long to have success there. You got to have that focus to start the game because the further you go, you do that. Next thing you know, you find yourself down at halftime.
Coach, you guys outscore Ravenna in the second half, 29-3, and you allowed just 2 points there in the third quarter. Did you change anything at halftime, or just be a little bit more aggressive defensively?
I think our press started paying some dividends, and then I think we also kind of paid attention to the whiteboard that said this girl's a shooter, this girl's a driver, and that's about as simple as that. So held on to our tendencies better. And obviously the girls executed excellently on the defensive end. Emery
Vargas coming through with 14 points tonight. She leads you in scoring, but you had a host of girls score naturally in a game like this. That's good to see.
Yeah, we've always said it. Emery's been one that's maybe taken a little bit of a back seat on the scoring end at times this year. She's usually guarding the other team's best ball handler and shooter or scorer. But it was good to see her hopefully get a little confidence by seeing the ball go through the hole, especially from deep.
You were not on the floor last night. They were, so you have to get the kinks, the little butterflies out for postseason play to start this game today.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's say that's it because we know whoever's we're going to get out of this one, they're going to be ready to go. So we got a little experience with Ord in the past, not so much with Giltner Harvard, but it's a 2-3 matchup and it'll probably be a good one.
You know how to advance, Coach, in the postseason play, and you've said it many times. Just focus on the next game up. We got one in the books. You worry about Thursday now.
Absolutely, yeah. We said that. We basically just said that same thing in the locker room. I said, well, Tuesday's pretty much about done. We'll practice tomorrow. Thursday's the most important game of the season. So if we keep doing that, it's obviously led us to, 20 wins this year. Hopefully we can keep it rolling on Thursday.
All right, we'll see you Thursday night.
Thanks, Mike.
That's Greg Barrett, the head coach for the St. Cecilia girls basketball team. In St. Cecilia winning last night over Ravenna, 54-15. They'll play Ord in the sub-district finals on Thursday. The Chants knocked off Giltner Harvard in the other game last night, 58-29. So it'll be Ord St. Cecilia on Thursday, 6 o'clock starting time at the Chapman Gym. We'll have the game here on Extreme Sports, beginning with a pregame show at 5:45. Waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. It's Huddle Up on Extreme Sports at 7:53.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
We will start at the state capitol where Nebraska lawmakers yesterday slowed a bill that would increase penalties for fentanyl trafficking after some senators raised concerns that it could boost prison costs without clear benefits. The proposal would align fentanyl sentences with those for other hard drugs. In other hearings, the legislature also discussed a plan that could soon offer free lunch and breakfasts to students that are now receiving reduced meal plans. I had to sneeze, hold on. And meanwhile, supporters testified in Lincoln for a bill that would require immigration officers to obtain a warrant before entering Nebraska schools, saying the change would protect students' privacy and keep campuses safe. Opponents worry it could hinder federal enforcement and create confusion. The measure now moves through the legislature for full debate. It is 7:55. We'll head over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's going on in sports?
Well, Iowa beat the Nebraska men's basketball team 57-52 last night in Iowa City. The Huskers were held to a season low of 52 points. They were also limited to just 5 3-pointers, tying for their fewest in a game this season. The loss was Nebraska's first loss to an unranked team this season. They're now 22-4, 11-4 in the conference. They'll play host to Penn State on Saturday. Tip-off will be at 1 on BTN. The Nebraska women's basketball team will try to break a 5-game losing streak when they play at Oregon on Thursday. Huskers are 16-10. They're 5-10 in the conference after Monday's 80-67 loss to Iowa. Tip-off for the game will be at 8. Hastings College basketball teams will begin their final week of the regular season tonight when they play host to Doane at Lynn Farrell Arena. Women's game will be at 6 with the men to follow at 7:45. We'll have the action tonight on Extreme Sports beginning at 5:45. Hastings College softball team splitting a pair of games with Sterling yesterday. The Broncos are now 5-4. They'll play at Kansas Wesleyan on Saturday. In the first ever collegiate men's volleyball match in Nebraska, Hastings College beat Central Christian 25-10, 25-19, 25-17 last night at Lynn Farrell Arena. Hastings 4-7 in the season. They'll be off until a week from Saturday when they play at Ottawa. As we mentioned, Hastings St. Cecilia winning in girls high school basketball last night, outscoring Ravenna 29-3 in the second half. They won 54-15. They will play Ord coming up on Thursday, 6 o'clock starting time in the sub-district finals. We'll have the game right here on Extreme Sports beginning at 5:45 tomorrow afternoon. One other game, regular season action, Omaha Duchesne beat the Hastings High girls last night 64-47. The Tigers are now 2-19. To check in your sports headlines at 7:57.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
Tuesday was a record-setting day with a new high of 77 degrees. Today, though, it'll be a little cooler, but still pretty warm with a high in the low 60s. A little breezy with westerly winds gusting to about 20 miles per hour. More clouds in the afternoon. Then tonight, we'll have a low of 25. On Thursday morning, snow spreading into the area. It'll be either side of an inch. 34 is the high with falling temperatures throughout the day. 12 overnight, Thursday night to Friday. Plenty of sunshine and a high in the 30s with 30s through the weekend and lows in the teens.
West winds this morning at 9. We've got cloudy skies. It is 39 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Join us for the Little Blue River Pheasants Forever Banquet and Auction on Saturday, February 21st at the Adams County Fairgrounds in Hastings. Social hour begins at 5:30 p.m. with dinner at 7 p.m. Tickets are available at the door for just $25 for adults and $20 for kids under 16. There will be an auction after dinner, and at least 16 youth guns will be given away for ages 5 to 16. Must be present to win. All proceeds from the youth raffle go to the Youth Mentor Hunt and other youth programs, and there will be lots of other raffles too. Don't miss out on the fun.
Hey, this is Mick from Miletta Vista Winery in St. Paul. Just a reminder, winter hours will be Saturdays, 11:30 to 9, January through February. That's just one day a week. But come in for lunch. Homemade soup specials on Saturdays. Stick around for the evening meals that start at 5. And while you're at it, stock up on your favorite wines. Workhorse, Elephant Ear, Steuben Tiger, and more are available at Miletta Vista and wherever great Nebraska wines are sold. Miletta Vista Winery, good wine, good food, no snow boots required, but we won't judge.
Connet Auto Care is the trusted name in automotive repair and maintenance services in Hastings. We're a gold-certified Napa Auto Care Center. Our ASE-certified technicians have the Blue Seal of Excellence, receive continuous training, and are committed to providing the best service your vehicle can get. Whether it's preventative maintenance, major repairs, or just an oil change, Connet Auto Care is here for you.
Get ready for the ultimate trivia experience with Extreme Sports Trivia. Play from anywhere at home, on the go, or at your favorite bar or restaurant. Compete live against players from all over in real time, answering questions across categories like sports, pop culture, Marvel, and more. Want to see how you stack up? Track your progress with live leaderboard and aim for the top spot. It's free, fun, and super easy to play. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today at extremesports.com trivia and start playing now. And keep an eye out. We're coming soon to a bar or restaurant near you.
All right, Mike Will, Tyson Ervonic with you on Wednesday. Extreme Sports, huddle up. Again, we'll have basketball tonight. Hastings and Doane. Women's game at 6. Men's game at 7:45 on the air with a pregame at about 5:45 this afternoon. Entering the final week of the regular season, the Hastings College women firmly entrenched for the postseason tournament, the GPAC postseason tournament that gets underway next week. Hastings right now sitting as the number 4 seed. Hastings College men, we've got some work to do this week. We've got Doane tonight. We've got Concordia on Saturday. Hastings right now tied with Doane. I think I saw this morning, tied with Doane for the number 9 spot. So Hastings possibly is going to win both games this week for the men to make it into the postseason tournament, which gets underway next Wednesday. So it all starts tonight with the Tigers. Doane and Hastings tonight will have the games right here on Extreme Sports.
Now that's a rival.
Is that what you call the rival?
That's a rival. Hastings and Doane, not Nebraska, Iowa, man.
I still disagree with you on that.
That's fine. Most people do.
Yeah, because Ryan Martin, he's chimed in and says he doesn't agree with you.
That's an argument that I make it every year, and I end up
taking a lot of crap.
Getting crap.
Yeah, you do.
It's okay.
Every time you bring that up. Let's see. I'm just trying to see if I got all my news and notes handled for today because we really exploded on Nebraska basketball. Wide receiver Mike Evans, Tampa Bay's all-time leading scorer, is going to play a 13th season in 2026 with the Bucks or with somebody else. He's a free agent, so we'll see if he comes on, but he's going to play in 2026. J.J. Jensen returning for the 18th season with the Carolina Panthers. He's the long snapper for Carolina. Signed a 1-year contract yesterday with an eye toward extending his franchise record, 277 games played. He can move into the top 20 in league history if he plays all 17 games next season. And the Rams have signed wide receiver Robert Woods to a 1-day contract so he can retire. Woods played 12 NFL seasons, spent 5 years with the Rams, won a Super Bowl with L.A., had a couple of good years in 2018, 2019, but Rams signed him to a 1-day contract just so he could announce his retirement. So those are some news and notes I didn't get to earlier. Basketball again tonight, Hastings and Doane. I think we've covered everything we needed to here this morning.
Covered all the bases.
Get everybody out the door. If you'd like to listen to the show again, listen to our interview with Greg Barrett, listen to the comments from Fred Hoiberg, or the comments that we had in the first half of the show regarding the Nebraska-Iowa game and the fans storming the court there in Iowa City.
Your blood's still boiling about that.
I know, it's still fired up on that.
You need to relax today.
Team that's 19-7, we're going to storm the court because we just beat the 9th-ranked team in the country.
Relax today because you have an important game with the actual rivals, and I don't want you to say anything that you'd regret because you're still fired up about the Nebraska loss. So
I still got time to
do a little zen. Go see KK. Get a head spa.
All right. If you like to listen to the show, you can download the podcast, listen to it at your convenience here today. Better yet, make plans to be here tomorrow morning at 7 for Huddle Up on Extreme Sports. Have yourself a great day.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports, Central Nebraska's new home for sports. Join us every weekday morning from 7 until 8 on Extreme Sports.